Welcome, everybody, to the X Factor podcast. Today, you already know, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. NXT talk. I was going to talk about the G1, but I am still trying to get myself caught up on all of that. So I'll probably, the first 2 days, I'll probably just do after the 2 days they do it, for the first two blocks, and the other two blocks after get done this time, I'll review some of it. But we're just going to stick with NXT today because we got a couple things to talk about. Great American Bash coming right around the corner. A lot of build-ups, a lot of story building coming into this. A lot of the climax of the storylines are coming together now. Example, Ilja Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes. They started out the show. Carmelo Hayes called him out. They got into a little bit of a talk because Ilja Dragunov did not want to face Damian Priest. He wanted to face him. And, Ilja Dragunov, when he came to NXT a year ago, I knew very little about him because I was just starting to watch wrestling. My older brother's the one who told me about him because he told me he beat Gunther when he was the NXT UK champion, when he was the longest reigning UK champion of all time. So, I got a little bit of a hype with it, and then I started watching some of his matches, and then he was gone for a little bit, came back. But now that he's been back, he is, in my opinion, he is one of the best right now, and that's even including out of Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker and NXT. And he got me hyped for the match. His promos are so well together, organized. And with Carmelo Hayes, it's like you don't know if it's just really intense or if someone's actually going to be a heel here. And I feel like Carmelo Hayes was starting to get a little bit of that heel start. I feel like that's what he was doing at the start, and then because Trick Williams, it could go. They could turn him back heel, have Ilja as a babyface, but Ilja Dragunov heel, I just don't see it really happening. But he got me really hyped up for the match. I do think Ilja Dragunov should win this match because I think it would help him a lot. Carmelo Hayes, I feel like his time with the NXT Championship has been good. I just feel like him and Braun Breaker are both ready already to get up there. And the one thing Ilja Dragunov needs before he goes up to the main roster is that NXT title run. And then after that NXT title run, he can go back to, go to the main roster. Because Carmelo Hayes, he's done it all. He has won, I think he won the breakout tournament. I think he did. I'm not sure. He won North American title. He's won the NXT title. The only thing he hasn't done is win a tag titles. And unless him and Trick Williams want to go after the tag titles before he gets called up. Who knows? Braun Breaker, he's been a two-time NXT champion. The only thing under his belt is not a North American title, which I don't see him going after the North American title. I just feel like he's already ready to go up to the main roster. They need one of those big bad heels. Braun Breaker's one of them. Put him right in with the Sharks. So I feel Ilja Dragunov going into it should win, but like I said, in this, I don't really know who the heel is in this. Speaking of potential heel turns, Mustafa Ali, him and Wesley scheduled to have a match. Great American Bash, which I'll get in more with Wesley later because some big stuff happened. Mustafa Ali and Wesley, they had a backstage segment, and the last couple weeks it looks like Mustafa Ali he is acting more of a heel in my eyes in the last couple of weeks since he's joined NXT. It seems like he's trying to set something up here. And I feel like that is what it's going to lead to with Wesley down the road. Because I'll talk about it here more in a little bit, but one of those is that I feel like Mustafa Ali is turning heel. It gives me that vibe. since he's came up there, like saying, "Oh, we all need to have," he just gave me a weird vibe. That's just all I'm really getting at from him. But that's just one of those little things I don't really know. But first match of the night: Angel Garza Humberto versus Nathan Frazier and Dragon Lee. A really, really good tag team match to start off the show. Angel Garza and Humberto. And there's just something with me that looks at some of these guys and think of older wrestlers. When I look at Angel and Humberto, I think of Eddie and Chavo. I don't know why. It's just I feel that specific way about them. It's like that's just what that reminded me of. I don't know why. It just gives me that weird, Because like the same thing with Frazier and Lee, Dragon Lee. He reminds me of somewhat of a Rey Mysterio, just bigger and in my eyes, he's almost as good as a wrestler as Rey Mysterio. Almost as good, maybe better, or just athleticism wise, one of the best. The match was amazing. After the match, Angel Garza and Humberto did lose, but after the match, Humberto pushed Angel over and said it was his fault. I'm hoping you don't split them up now, because I could see big potential in them as a tag team. Based off what we have seen just off last night, I don't think they should turn them heel. Or we'll make one of them turn on each other. I don't think that would be the best of decisions, but if they do, I would be all set for it because they're both really great wrestlers, which they have been underutilized on the main roster because of Vince and all of his shenanigans. But that's just one thing I gotta point out. I just thought the match was amazing. We need more of Angel and Humberto, and then we need more of Nathan Frazier and Dragon Lee, of course. So, but speaking of Dragon Lee, well, family-wise, Roosh is reportedly the rumor is he's leaving AEW. And if that's the case, I think WWE would be the main spot for him because that's where Dragon Lee is. And then you put him and Dragon Lee together or feud, that would be perfect. Have Dragon Lee as like the heel, and then like Roosh is like the bodyguard kind of thing, kind of like what Andrade and Roosh were. But yeah, Dragon Lee and Roosh. And plus their match that they had last December at Ring of Honor was amazing. So, in my opinion, but that's really what I see going down the future. And speaking of something new and approved, Baron Corbin, he is had a couple vignettes the last couple of weeks, which makes me think what the hell they're doing with him. He's like outside with like a fire. I don't really know what they're doing with him. It makes me interested because he says that he just wants to be his own version of himself, which tells me that we're going to see the true version of himself. It's just what are they going to do with him now? Like Lone Wolf, because I don't think they're bringing in Lone Wolf stuff. I'm interested to see what they're doing, especially with Shawn Michaels there. I feel like they could really do something good with him. So, Gigi Allen, Kiana James was the second match of the card. And an alright match. It was short, but it was alright. The feud between them is, I like the feud. It's the way it started, I like it. The match I thought was good. The execution of the match, the execution of the what happened after, how Gigi lost, I thought it was all good. I gave it a 3.25 star rating because it was good. It's just I feel like the time link was not it at that moment of time. And then the Dragon Lee match that I gave that a 4. So, because when you see bangers like that, I'm giving it a 4 or 4.55, 7,000. But Gigi Dolan and Kiana James, I liked the match. I thought it was a very interesting match. A very, how do I put it? You can, at the end, especially at the end of the match, you can see that they're going to do some big stipulation for their, if they ever have a second match. Because of what with the purse and everything, it's, it just fits the groove. And whatever they do with it, I think it's going to be interesting either way, so. But I thought it was a good match, nothing really special. Axiom and Scripps versus the new tag team in Bronco Nimia and Lucine Price. Match I thought was alright. The main thing we got out of that was Scripps turning on Axiom and walking with Lucine Price and Bronco Nimia, which is a very interesting group that they are putting together here in NXT. When I first seen the new Bronco and Price, I instantly thought Crime Time. They just gave me that vibe of Crime Time. But I do think, with Scripps and Axiom having that little team up, and now him turning on him, it's going to lead to Axiom getting 3 other guys. Don't know who those 3 other guys are going to be, but it's going to be interesting what they do there. So, match I thought was alright. I gave it a 3. Nothing special, but we finally got to see the Dawn back in NXT. Great to see that. After being in prison for 2 months, Stax is not a Stitch. Great to hear that as well. And now they get a title match at the Great American Bash. And in my opinion, Tony D'Angelo and Stax are going to win those titles. And Gallus, I feel like after that, should go to the main roster. Like Joe Coffey hasn't done much since he came to the main roster, but since he came to NXT. But if they put them all on the main roster, they have something with Imperium. They have something with the Brilliant Brutes. They got something with anyone, whoever they put them up with. It's gonna be fun to see what they do if they do lose. But if Tony D'Angelo and Stax win, it's gonna be interesting what they do, especially if there's a celebration. Tony D'Angelo definitely deserves something because he has been one of the most improved guys in my eyes since starting with NXT. So Electra Lopez versus Thea Hale in a short match. But what coming after that was what really got us going here. The match was short, nothing much. It was an alright match. Thea Hale won. She called out Tiffany Stratton for a rematch, and she's only a year out of high school. She only graduated last year, and she's already getting stuff like this, which means she's gonna get a big future because she is entertaining. She's athletic. She can do everything that they ask her to. So it's gonna be interesting what they do. Tiffany Stratton came out, and Thea Hale wanted a submission match. Tiffany Stratton declined it, and either way, we got a submission match at Great American Bash, which I love to hear that. Which it's going to be interesting to see what Tiffany Stratton has as a submission move, because I don't think we've seen any submission moves coming out of her since she started in NXT. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her with that. So, Eddie Thorpe versus Ora Mensa in a match before the main event. I feel like they should have gotten more time because Ora Mensa, underrated. Eddie Thorpe, amazing since he started. The Metaphora, whatever they're calling that with Noam Dar, is amazing. They're entertaining. Noam Dar, dead pretty much. The match was in my eyes good for the time they had. I feel like they should have had more minutes, which I feel, if I were Shawn Michaels, I would say give them more minutes next time. But now we need to get to our main event because we got a lot to talk about. Wesley versus Dominic Mysterio. First off, I gotta say the match was good. The match was real good. And all I gotta say is Wesley is one of the best North American champions to ever step foot in NXT. I don't think you could name me a better one. He was the workhorse for that championship. And then Dominic comes in, and well, Dominic is the new North American champion, taking that title over to Monday Night Raw. My main thing is, though, people were complaining because Solo won the North American title and had to vacate it because he was on the main roster. He did not have to vacate it because he was on the main roster. He had to vacate it because he wasn't sanctioned for that match. He just came in and won the titles. Or won the title. Dominic, he was already set to face Wesley for the title. So you can't, and plus, with Solo having to vacate it, that's what caused Wesley to win the title, because it ended up being a ladder match a couple weeks later, and Wesley won the title. So, that's the difference there. First off, what is next for Wesley? I feel, because now Dominic has to face Mustafa Ali at the Great American Bash. Good stuff. My thing is with Mustafa, I think Mustafa has something to do with some of that. Because, in my eyes, since I said Mustafa, it looks like he's been turned heel. It looks like he does not want to face Wesley. He might say he wants to, but in reality, he doesn't want to. You know what I mean? So, he goes into the match that tells Finn and Damien to cost him the title. So, Mustafa would have to face Dominic, and I feel like Mustafa beats Dominic a couple weeks after, when that happens. I don't feel like Dom's gonna have like a lengthy reign in my eyes. So, going back into it, Mustafa wins the title. Wesley has to fight his way back and try to win the titles back. That's what I feel is what they should do. Whether they're gonna do it, I don't know. And then we go over to Dominic Mysterio. People said Dominic don't deserve it. What the hell? People are already mad because Dominic won the titles. The reaction Dom got for winning those titles perfectly showed that he deserved that. Since they started this whole Dominic Mysterio thing with Rhea, China Eddie type persona that they're trying to do here, it has worked. Dominic has been booed out of every building. He gets the heel heat. And it's not, and people try to say it's go away heat. It ain't go away heat. I can tell you that right now. Because if it was go away heat, it'd be probably worse than what we already know. So going back at that perspective, Dominic, he had to face Ray, lost to Ray, and he's been taking some L's as of late. Boom, he comes in here with the title. Rhea helps him win. Boom. Now you gotta look at it is now, because Rhea's got a title. Rhea's got a title. Dom's got a title. Damien has Money in the Bank, which will lead to a title. Finn Balor, in my eyes, he's gonna beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Nobody can change my mind. Nobody can tell me otherwise that he is gonna, nobody can tell me otherwise. It's, in my opinion, that's what's gonna happen. And could it be different? Yeah, it probably will be different, but that's just really what I see it as. So, but like I said, Dominic, he deserves it. In my opinion, that was second match of the night off of Angel Garza and Humberto for the Nathan Frazier and Dragon Lee. So NXT, I thought was good. They got a lot of storytelling in. Tomorrow I got Dynamite Blood and Guts review and maybe some G1 Climax talk. Friday we'll talk about Impact. I'm gonna start talking about Impact and Ring of Honor, and then next Monday we'll get back at it with SmackDown, Collision, probably some NFL talk, and we'll just get off with that. So Y'all have a great day and stay blessed.